The short version of After Twilight is just a small piece of the much larger story. Now, we did that, it was sort of a proof of concept for us. We wanted to really give it a trial run before we went out and spent a lot more money on making the film. And it had to be as small as it was because we were limited in resources, we were limited in budget, but we were trying to make what was, for a short, a pretty big film for not very many dollars and very many resources. So, and I think we very well succeeded at that. And it was very obvious to us early on in the production and when we started seeing the dailies that we were really on the right track with this film.
We saw that we had a little piece that was, I think, 6 or 8 pages that we could shoot, you know, one step at a time, little baby steps. And when we shot that first, and it was pretty much everything that happens in the bookstore at Goldman's Bookshop. And when I saw the rushes of that black and white film, and I saw the acting and I heard the words, I thought, this really could work as a feature.
So that really encouraged us early on that we needed to go ahead and proceed with plans to turn this into a feature film.
This was a real experience for me. First, collaborating with you, trying to understand what your vision was, because ultimately, even though you were a co-writer, you were also going to be the director. So you had like final say if we had a disagreement on something. So that was an interesting process for me and really a growth process for me as a writer. So in some elements it was difficult because it was, you know, well, I don't think it should be this way. Well, I do, and we would argue about a point. But also at the same time, I have real good memories of sitting around the word processor and jumping up and both of us saying, yeah, 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 and then they say this and going, yeah, yeah, yeah. So working together in that sense was, that was exciting. But it's always difficult to take something that maybe a scene that I've created and hand it over to you and have you two go through it and then send it back to me and go, wow, they really took an axe to it.
We're really enjoying the collaborative process.
The collaborative process, I mean, we worked very well together.
We would put it up on the screen at the beginning in the screening room. Gary would read out aloud, and I wouldn't read out loud with all the funny voices.
Sometimes if a scene is complex action, we'll actually get up and act it out.
Like that.
It helps us get on the same page and make sure that we're working on the same idea.
In a collaborative effort, it's always good, I think, to have someone of a different age or different gender there to give you a perspective that you may not you know, come up with on your own. And of course, Sandra is much younger than both of us and had a fresher concept on some of the dialogue and some of the action scenes, which was also great.
What I did bring to the table was the sister angle. I have a little bit more angle on that, and librarians. Two things I know is librarians and sisters, since I work in a library.
Then we just pulled out all the stops for the feature script, you know, and we thought about it in terms of reaching a much broader audience. We've given ourselves the ability to expand the cast, to expand the locations, to put in some stunts and effects. You know, we're gonna have a fire, we're gonna have an explosion, we're gonna have somebody on fire. We're gonna have blood.
Car crash.
Torture.
Sheds.
No car crash.
Car crashes.
We don't have a car crash. Have you been writing on the script again while I wasn't looking?